Let me teach you how to vibe code as if you have no development experience. You've never seen a line of code in your entire life. I'm going to make it as easy as possible. And the reason I'm going to be able to make it so easy is because I'm a real software engineer. So when all the technical terms come up, when all that developer jargon comes up, I'm like, no, I'm going to teach it extremely simple. So by the end of this video, you're going to have a full idea of what vibe coding is, how to do vibe coding, and quite literally be able to create any application you've ever wanted to create it. You know that little idea that's in your notes app right now? They're like, I don't want to hire a developer team for this, but I don't want to code it. Don't worry, you don't need to code anymore. Let's jump in. Welcome back, y'all. This video, I know, is going to get a lot of people looking at it because I already can tell in the next couple months, if not 2026, one of the biggest skills that people are going to want to learn is vibe coding because genuinely, we've gotten to the point now where anyone can build an app. So for me to effectively teach you this as if you've never developed in your entire life, we're going to go over a couple blocks here. First one's going to be who does it? Second one's going to be what even is vibe coding? Third one's going to be how we even do it. Fourth one is you're going to get methods that I personally use as a software engineer where I translate old ways of handling code and make it more vibey, more fun. Let's jump on a surfboard. And then finally, I want to build. Corbin, I need more lessons. I got you. I got a very special playlist at the end here, so let's check this all out. Nummer eins. Who does it? Everyone now. If you had asked me a year or 2 years ago, Corbin, you've heard of this thing called vibe coding? I would have said, yeah, it's kind of like a side hobby thing. The code's not that good. You can't really get to production level. That opinion that I had, I've flipped 180 on in the last couple of days due to the updates that have occurred in AI models and the softwares we use to build software. Software to build software, it's an inception. But the idea is, y'all, vibe coding is not a joke anymore. And a lot of people that may be working in the industry, e.g., they got a job at Google, they got a job at Meta, they got a job at a startup, they are looking down at vibe coders or they're talking trash about vibe coders. But how do you expect someone that's working in a startup or in a tech company to really understand and grasp how much of an unlock vibe coding is because they can't even use an AI model within their company because of the security reasons around it? Or alternatively, they can use an AI model within their company, but they're so limited to the ability to actually leverage the AI model because of the fact that their senior engineer tells them, hey, you can only do X, Y, and Z for this new feature. You can't explore all these different things. Well, I'm telling you right now, based off my 14 years of coding since I was 12, this is it. It's about to be insane FOMO 6 months from now. You are early. Anyone can do it. I don't care if you're a real estate agent. I don't care if you're a marketer. I don't care if you are a teacher. I don't care what your profession is. You can do it. What am I harping on? What do you mean I can do it, Corbin? Just do it. You know the Shia LaBeouf one? Yeah, Shia. I don't know how I remember his last name. What vibe coding is, because you are coming from a background of not developing and not coding, is you are now able to actually use your language, human language, e.g. English, and you're able to get robot language. And what I mean by that is that I could use simple language like, hey, can you build me a website landing page or just a website sign up form? And the AI is able to understand what you mean and output that in JavaScript. Or if you want something to happen in the cloud, Python. You don't necessarily need to know right now what Python or JavaScript means. What I want you to fundamentally understand, though, is what is vibe coding? Human language, hey, to robot language. We have created a new way to create software. This isn't new. Robot language, Python, JavaScript, Rust, all these different little libraries. The original way we would notate and create apps and software and applications, which I'm sure some of y'all might know already, is real robot language is the binary 0111000011100001111. So all we did there was took the craziness of 0001111111000. All we did there, Jamaica, oh no, my cameras are going crazy, is we took that and then we added the extra layer of, hey, C#, hey, C++, hey, Swift, hey, like all that. But now we're getting to the next level here. No. Don't give me the robot language. Let me speak to it in English, Japanese, Korean, anything. But I want you to understand, even though everyone can code now, it does take time. This is a skill. Even the simplicity of human language to robot language, that extra step we just went on here, it still is a skill. I bring this up because this isn't a situation where it's like, oh, I can just simply put in, make me an Instagram, one prompt, and it's going to make you an Instagram. We're not there yet. You got to think of this like a skill, like dancing, like riding a bike, like writing a script. You're not going to be amazing when you first attempt it. Of course you're not. You're going to be trash. I was trash. When I was 12 years old, my code was trash. That's the point, though. Understand that. It takes hours, takes days, takes years, it takes months. Like, learn the skill. But I will say that with vibe coding, you can learn it a lot faster. Reality wise, for you to get to a junior level engineer, if you really focused, like every single day, you set time aside to learn how to vibe code, probably 3 months. 12 weeks for sure. All right, great. Corbin, this all sounds amazing. I learned you can say 0011 really fast. Someone want to translate what I said there? Someone take that and find one of those binary translators. But how do we do it? So you're coming from a different background. This all sounds cool, but in reality, how do you even build software? To build software, and as you can tell from my channel, I like to dumb down things absolutely to the bones. You need something like a builder. Now, a builder you may be familiar with is like Cursor AI, Google AI Studio, VS Code, Windsurf. If this all sounds foreign to you, don't worry. All I want you to understand is that a builder is where we take that robot language and we organize it so that we could run an app. I'm gonna come back to this screen later. I'm not trying to scare y'all. Don't get scared. But this situation, this is Cursor AI, an IDE, Integrated Development Environment. You are going to select your builder. I don't know what builder you should select. All right. Choose the one you love. Right now, I am really liking Cursor. Cursor loves me. I love Cursor and Google AI Studio. There's reasons behind this. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but what I want you to understand fundamentally is your builder is what's building your house. And your house is your app, your software, your website. You may hear these terms interchangeably used and you might be confused like, Corbin, what's a website? What's an app? What's a software? You can get really nitty picky about this. I could be like, well, technically a website, I don't care. All you need to understand is it's a website, app, or software. One has a front end, maybe primary, one has a back end. All you need to understand is that you're building something that will exist on the internet at a link or on a mobile phone. So those are your builders. Why do I have a nice little cat here and it says insurance? What does this mean, Corbin? This is something we call in software development called GitHub. What is GitHub, Corbin? GitHub is like if you had builders building a house and you didn't have insurance and then something happened where the house caught on fire and then you just lost all your money, you lost all your progress and you're just like, I should have bought insurance. Yes, that is where GitHub comes into play. What GitHub allows you to do, if you've ever installed an application on your phone, you have IG on your phone, do you have Hulu on your console? Whatever you have, you've ever had an app, what you'll notice is that these apps will sometimes require you to update them. When it says like, hey, Hulu's got an update, and you're like, oh, do I have to actually download this? Sometimes you do, but it's going to be like V1, V2, V3, whatever they get crazy as you get bigger, right? 6.35 versions of the app. Point being, in order for you to have a version of your app, you're going to need this thing called GitHub. GitHub, what it allows you to do as a quick TLDR, because we're building your app as a vibe coder, and this is fundamentally extremely important for you to have, is that if you're a vibe coder, you are going to run into errors. You are going to absolutely break your application. Don't worry. This happens to everyone that is coding. Even experienced developers will break their application. That's part of the game. But you as a more inexperienced developer or vibe coder, you're going to break it more often. Therefore, you are going to want something like GitHub. So when you create your version 2 of the app and you absolutely cook it, you can go back to V1, which is what we call in software development the more stable version, or put simply, the code actually works. I am not going to go down an absolute rabbit hole of why you need to know about GitHub. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to show you this video. This right here, you need to watch. If you genuinely are serious about learning how to vibe code and you have that little software idea in your notes app on your phone and you're like, Corbin, I want to do this. This is a prereq. You have to watch this 46 minutes. Everything past this, every tutorial you'll see from me, if you don't watch this, you are going to be extremely confused, extremely frustrated, and you're probably going to give up. Watch this video. GitHub is foundationally extremely important. It'd be like trying to drive a car with no engine. I guess you could go downhill, but like gravity could take you, but how would that end, right? Like you have no engine, gravity's taking you, you probably go automobile kaput. All right, so the method. How do we do this, Corbin? Enough of me yapping, and let me join and let me dive into, we even use this term vibe coding. So what is the method? Of course, it's corned beef hash, duh. No, okay. This is actually really good though. If you've never had corned beef hash, Americano, black coffee, amazing. Let me give you some example prompts so you can kind of start scratching your brain a little bit and seeing how cool vibe coding is. And then I'm going to give you some resources for you to look at because in reality, I can't teach you everything about vibe coding. I have to give you a bigger series incurring on this channel right now that's going to show you everything granularized, how you like it. The method. All right, coming back to my IDE here. I know this looks crazy. I know half of y'all are going to want to click off right now. Just stick with me. The purpose of this video is I want to prove to you that anyone can code. All right, so I'm in Cursor AI. Right now, I'm in editor mode, so I'm going to just change it to Angit mode because editor mode looks scary if all these files... I don't like the files, Corbin. Okay, I'm going away. So here is just a real quick example. of the power of vibe coding. I'm just going to switch this model down to GPT-5 Codex. I've done other videos explaining which models for what. Don't worry. Actually, we'll just go auto. Auto. It would be like this. At this point, you've already created your front end, nice little landing page. I go over this in other videos, but simply you would scroll to a part that, you know what, you want to change. There is multiple ways to identify a change, but for example, what I would do is either copy this text and ask it to change this, or what I like to do is just screenshot and I can drag the image for context and be like, hey, I want to change this header, make it more fun. And you might be like, Corbin, what the heck is a header? This is the term here for pick the plan that fits. So maybe, you know, I'll use regular like title. Just for development terminology, a header is like the thing called H1, H2, H3, H4. It's like a chronological order. So H1 is usually the bigger text. Something like this is what we would probably call a subtitle. These are terms you learn over time when coding with it. I don't expect you to know these. What I want you to understand though is however you would call this, you can still call it that within the chat because it'll be able to contextually understand what you're saying. Now, if you want to take this one step further, just to show you how vibey it's gotten, if I come up here to select element, I can quite literally select it. I'm like, you know what? This right here, boom. Now it's in the chat. And look at H2. If I hit enter here, that's it. It's done. It's going to work for me. In progress. What do I do now, Corbin? Well, if this is your first time generating this way, then I would wait and see if it works. But this is vibe coding, y'all. I'm not writing any lines of code. No lines of code are being written by me right now. None. Absolutely none. I'm not touching anything. I am letting the agent write everything. And look at that. Choose your hay bale venture. And for some of y'all like, Corbin, why does it say hay bale? The way we do currency on this software I'm creating here is hay bales instead of credits. Why'd you choose hay bales instead of credits, Corbin? Just trust the process, okay? But that's vibe coding. Now, once you watch that GitHub tutorial, you would understand that I would hit keep here to keep the code here. Or alternatively, if I'm like, whoa, this is not good, I can hit undo, don't save, and we go back to the original. This was an extremely simple example, I know, but I'm doing that so I can really wave the curtains in front of your eyes right now and for you to realize, yes, we are in a new age. This is real. You don't need to know how to code. You need to know what to say in the prompt. That's all that matters now. Once you know what to say in the prompt, you'll be good. So let's go ahead and show some more examples here. If I do new agent, you can run these in parallel as well. There's so much fun stuff you can do now, y'all. You got to understand this literally just happened a couple of days ago. One thing you need to understand as well is obviously you put in a prompt, you know, you're speaking your language, you just put in your prompt here. The relevant model you choose actually has implications. And I'm going to do a whole nother video on this topic, but just for a TLDR for everyone that's kind of hesitant to get into developing, kind of scared because they've had past experiences with these models where it felt like you put in a good prompt and then the code was just not good. What I can tell you right now is these models are so good now that the errors to good code quality is beyond what it used to be. GPT-5 Codex High, this is a very high level model. In most use cases, I wouldn't suggest a experienced developer to use this because you can get code more effectively through other models like Sonnet 4.5, Auto, etc. Also, for everyone that's like watching this right now and like, this just got too techie. Why is he saying models? Models, I just want you to think of like if you literally had a team of engineers like Sam, Jim, Sarah, Ashley, you had a real team of junior engineers. We call these guys junior engineers now, or gals, or anythings. We call them junior engineers. A model's level of reasoning is how smart that model is. So when I run my teams, or if you're just in a company, like you know Jim at your company, or you know Sarah at your company, they seem to be a little bit better at that one task. That's the idea. A higher reasoning model is going to be better at giving you better code. But some code is so not complex that it doesn't even matter. You could give anyone that job. Point being is that if you're a complete beginner, fresh, I have no clue what I'm doing, Corbin. You can use something like GPT-5 Codex High, and it's very forgiving. Very much so that you can build a lot of stuff with this with no experience in coding. So the idea is like you opt for the highest model, the smartest person in the room, you have less situations of errors to incur. And for everyone wondering, well, Corbin, I'm a little bit more experienced. I need to know which to use for what. Just stay on this channel. I think I already put out the video. Something like, what's the best vibe coding model? Check it out. I might leave it in the description. Might put it at the end here. Right now, though, I want you to understand that as you clicked on this video, because it says Vibe Coder's Complete Guide. And the idea is you need to understand that, yes, the model you choose has a direct correlation with the code you get. Direct. So what is next? I've explained to you that the model you choose has a direct correlation with how good your code is. I've explained to you how simple it is to simply put in a prompt here and get an output here. but what is the most advantageous piece of information I can give you next for you to progress and move the pedal forward? And to be honest with you, that's going to be me explaining your environment that you'd be vibe coding in anyways. Now, you can vibe code in a lot of different environments. You can vibe code all these different softwares, right? Replit, I think Vercel has one, V0, I think they call it now, or V0 Vercel, whatever it is. You can vibe code everywhere. But where should you vibe code? I come from a development background, which means I was coding before all this stuff even came out, and I was coding in something called VS Code. Now, VS Code looks very similar to Cursor, but Cursor is now leap years ahead of it because of the fact that Cursor's leaned in heavily in AI and the tech around that. What I'm trying to say here is that the reason I personally use Cursor up to this point is due to the fact that this is familiar. This is like I'm going home. You know, the same environment that I was working with at 14 years old is just the same home. But I guess I have a robot in there with me now, or maybe multiple. That's why I choose Cursor AI. Why should you choose Replit? Why should you choose Vercel? Why should you choose XYZ? Every single platform has its different leniencies around different things. For example, Replit maybe is a little bit better on handling the backend for you. Does that look scary to you? But to be honest with you, if I'm going to be 100% transparent, I suggest you go through the platform that, yeah, you're going to have to learn a little. You might not be able to easily set up that backend. Well, guess what? Learn. Just learn it. Trust me, you can learn it. I use Cursor. Am I telling you to use Cursor? No, but I use Cursor. Take that as you will. Before we dive into what all this means, because I want to give you a high level here before you would even dive into an IDE like this or Cursor AI or anything like this, let me just throw some resources at you. I want to build, Corbin. I want to build. Stop talking. Okay, I'll stop. Here are two things that is going to fundamentally help your journey tremendously. Now, the first thing is going to be a mega playlist that is currently occurring on this channel. This playlist, which I'll leave in the description down below, I have probably seen the most amount of excitement, demand, and just like, whoa, we can actually do this now type of video. And the reason I'm shouting out this playlist here, instead of going down an absolute rabbit hole of different prompts you could use, is because you are probably in a position right now where you're like, Corbin, I don't even have a project set up. I don't even have an app set up. I don't even know how to use Terminal. Like this very fundamental developer building blocks to vibe code, like the fundamentals. Because what you'll notice is a lot of YouTubers, they just dive right into it. And they don't even give you like the hammer to hit the nail. They're just like, you know what? I got a nail here. Use your hand. It's like, what? Hold up. No. Teach me the fundamentals. I got you. This series is going to love you. So check out this series. These are meaty videos. These are only 3 right now. By the time you watch this video, this is going to be a lot longer. 22 minutes, 34 minutes, 42 minutes. The next one's 60 minutes. I think this series is going to be 10 to 12 different videos. And trust me, I've already mapped it out. 10 to 12 different videos. And we're looking at 30 to 60 minutes on all these topics. How do I sign up a user, Corbin? How do I add a database, Corbin? What the heck is a function, Corbin? What is storage, Corbin? I'm answering it all. And I'm making it extremely simple. So everyone that's like, oh yeah, I'm on the pony now. Let's ride the pony. Ride it. Check out this playlist. Fundamentally extremely important because this is how you're going to learn how to really vibe code, because I can't really give it to you in a nice little 15-minute how to vibe code for complete beginners type of video. I'm trying to be real with y'all. Takes days of absolute focus, but I guarantee you can do it. All right, so what's this last one here where it says builder console log and I'm wearing a crazy little mask with a coffee cup with an HTML script in it? That is the builder's console log. This is absolutely free community. Check it out in the description down below. It's like a Reddit style forum. I am not selling you anything. Absolutely everything here is free. This is when you run into those rabbit holes and errors and you're like, oh man, this guy sucks at teaching. Well, you should have just put a post in the school community. So check it out. We got a bunch of other cool people here that we just generally want to learn. We generally want to build cool things. And I think what's really, really cool, y'all, is I'm noticing a huge momentum around vibe coding now that I have not seen in the last 2 years. So a lot of people are realizing now that you can have no development experience and actually build out real applications. The only thing missing from your arsenal is just a real software engineer to tell you, hey, what you're doing is all right. Don't worry. This is how you do security. This is how you do a sign up correctly, like that, the little stuff, just the little stuff. Once I give you this information in that playlist, you'll be able to build anything. It's going to be one of the biggest unlocks of 2026, guaranteed. And if you don't believe me, then click off. Bye-bye. I don't need to see you again. No, keine Wiedersehen. Just bye. All right, let's walk through this IDE real quick. So I'm just going to give you a real big rundown. So the way this works is typically in these AI builders now, just builders, as we described earlier, is you'll have a chatbot over here. And with this chatbot, there's a bunch of different options. What I want you to understand is typically these chatbots allow you to choose the model type. You have the ability to ask or agent. Now, one thing is really good, y'all, you really should do is that if you're brand new, use this ask feature. Really just ask the AI model, hey, I have no clue what I'm doing. How do I run an app? And it will give you good information. Read it. This is good stuff. I've been doing software for a very long time. And even I run into situations where there's a specific package or library or feature that I add. And I'm like, what is the implications of this? How much would this cost? Is this open source? Is this XYZ? Learn. What I want you to understand as well, this might help a lot of y'all understand what even is occurring over here to the left. Some of y'all that are more experienced are gonna be like, did you really have to say this, Corbin? But trust me, I did, because this is real. If you have no development experience, this looks scary, and I completely get it. Cursor, VS Code, assets, like these little drop downs. Like, what's going on here? Thumbio.com. What is that? Y'all, this is just a folder. Thumbio.com is just a folder inside a folder. Cursor is just a folder. VS Code is just a folder. These are names. Assets is just a folder inside of a folder. These are just folders. Don't overcomplicate it. An editor allows us to visually see the code nice and pretty, as you can see over here. But what you'll notice is that through vibe coding, we can use a new feature like agents here so that we don't even have to see the code. Therefore, you can really code out an entire application up to this point in this nice little agent mode. But the reason you need to still understand fundamentally what editor is that editor is all the files, all the robot language that will actually run on your live website link when you launch your app. There's a lot of implications behind this, and there's a lot of things you need to understand here. But if you're a complete new beginner, I suggest you just get to building. Just build something. And then over time, you just typically do what you would do in a classroom if you don't understand something. Is, for example, you'd go to index.html and you're like, what on earth is this craziness? Like, what is this? You just ask index.html, what is this? And then hit enter. And it will tell you. And if it says something that's like, okay, it told me, but what on earth is Tailwind CSS? Tailwind? Tail? Ask. And just keep asking, y'all. This is the early stages of vibe coding. There is two types of vibe coders. There's ones that just want to brute force it, which is fine. You can brute force it. Just chuck a bunch of prompts in there. Don't really understand what's going on there. But the type of vibe coding I would encourage is the type of vibe coding where it's like you're actually building something because it's boring. I know it's boring. It's when you watch those tutorials like, today we're going to learn how to make the console log say hello world, and it's going to be a print ln. I don't care about hello world. Hello. If y'all don't get that reference, just look it up. Just look it up. Basically, it's like a episode 1 of any coding series is like how to make it say hello world. I don't care. So build something you care about. But while you're building, educate yourself. It's that simple, y'all. The reason maybe some of y'all had tried to tackle coding in the past and then you're like, you know what, this is not for me, is because every single piece of education around this topic was just boring. It doesn't have to be boring anymore. I mean, if you really check out this one series, I made this fun. I'm not sitting here just trying to tell you, this is how you type out line 5. Who cares? Let's build an app. Educate yourself through vibe coding. And you don't have to. You could go hardcore mode. Just go agent mode and don't even look at the code at all, which you can build out something. I'm not going to deny it to you. You can build out something. You could probably get 90% the way there, but the little bit of nuance, that 10% that you really need in order to ensure this at a real website link that is safe, secure, and make money off of that little 10%, you'll need to understand these files to an extent. But in the beginning, as a vibe coder, just vibe. That's the point. On a side note, make sure to follow me on X. I do respond here. If you've been following me for the last couple of weeks, you've been following me for a while, you know I respond here. I'm an absolute rabbit at responding. I'm a rabbit on rabies. I just jump around. I'm like, hold up. You said this? Dub. Hold up. You said this? W comment, etc. Follow me on X, description down below. So that just about does it. You might be asking yourself, wow, I watched this video and this guy didn't give me any prompts. And the reason I didn't give you any prompts past the simple one I showed you is because you need to first understand what vibe coding is, and you just need to get the tools in the toolkit. If I approach this video, which was just a 10-minute cookie cutter, like top 6 vibe coding prompts or best vibe coding full guide, and all I did was quite literally put in a prompt and saw an output of code, 80%, 90% of you would be like, how did this guy even get to the point of putting in a prompt? That's the point of this video. This video is like a top funnel for me where it's just like, hey, I exist. Let me show you everything. Vibe coding is real. Anyone can do it. Anyone's gonna be able to build an app. And no, this is not 1 year ago. No, this is not 2 years ago. The specific date where everything flipped, if you're wondering, was October 29th, 2025. And if you're wondering why that date is so specific, check me out on X or just hit me up on X and be like, Corbin, why are you saying that date? And I'll let you know. But as you already know with these style videos, I'll see you in the next. Did you click on this video thinking this is going to be just one of those generic, hey, how to do top 10 vibe coding prompts? But then you realize there's a lot deeper than that. And this guy actually could tell you how to really build out real applications that actually make money type of video. 011100001110000.